Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. He is Jason, the chosen one. I am Greg, a legend, and no longer not in my own mind. Jay, I'm just a legend. 122 on the practice Mensa test. 122 higher. In the 92 percentile, Jay, I wasn't even really trying, Jay. I keep trying to tell these guys, stop trying to come on here and debate us, man. The nuances of what I say is beyond comprehension for most of you, for most of these haters. I'm just joking around, guys. I just feel like talking a little trash today. So let me go ahead and start off. Yeah, I'm a jerk. I'm a jerk. Let me start off by saying salute to everybody that's on the channel currently. We got 28 people, 16 likes. Make sure you smash the like button on the way in. And first and foremost, I want to start off by saying Happy Mother's Day. It's a special day. We got the opportunity to go to church today, and they were talking about the foundation of a lot of the churches. The foundation of the family are the mothers. And so, of course, most of you guys know that I'm married, and of course, I had to go out and celebrate my queen today with my children. And we'll be going out to celebrate her again later today, and that's the reason why we're having an earlier show. So I appreciate everybody with their flexibility and their ability to join today, but definitely want to give shots outs and love to all the mothers that are out there currently. And also, Jay, I do want to give love to the people that support the channel, Rock Dog Interactive. If you need anything from web design to logo design, anything of that nature, reach out to Rock Dog Interactive, and anything technical, to be honest with you, Jay. Rock Dog Interactive damn near does everything. So make sure you reach out to them. They're helping us a lot. They have been helping us a lot. They'll probably be on helping us a little bit today as we try to integrate our Discord as a part of our show today. People that are on the Discord, we're going to start a lounge today, and hopefully everybody will be able to join that lounge if you want to talk, and that will give opportunities for debate. So we're going to try it out. We didn't get the opportunity to test it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but certainly if it doesn't work today, we'll have it ready to go next week. Black father figures, that's the League of Legacies. I'm still giving him a lot of love for the work that he's doing out there in the community. Black father figures is a big deal. Just like the mothers, the fathers don't get enough credit, Jay, for some of the things that we do in our households and in the community. So definitely want to commend the League of Legacy for the work that he's doing. And then, of course, www.nadajvodka.com, the best tasting vodka I have tasted in quite some time, Jay. Got a Kiwi taste to it. It is African-American owned out of Jacksonville, Florida. It is in select stores in Florida. So make sure you go check out www.nadajvodka.com. And make sure when you go to your local neighborhood grapes and grains or any kind of store like that, make sure you ask them about that Nadaj vodka. If they don't have it currently, they need to get it. Make sure you guys go check it out. www.nadajvodka.com. All right, Jay. Where do you want to start, my friend?
Yeah, just a quick shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Slogan 1. Real shit, 30, Dante's boxing talk, all things I see you. Cool JC.
Ohio style lyrics, what's going on with your fam? Oh, my guy Jay in the building. What's going on with you, Jay? Me and Jay, I'm going to say something that's going to piss Jay off today. I already know it. So we'll see what Jay has to say in the Discord. I'm going to say something today that's going to piss Jay off. I know it. All right, Jay. We want to get started, dog.
About couple things. So, let's go ahead. There was a fight last night. The fight was watching me, y'all. I couldn't watch the fight. I couldn't stay up and watch the fight. I was out. I think Nina Hughes, partway through her fight, I was gone. So, I know Loma won by TKO stoppage in the 11th round, but I couldn't tell y'all what happened. That fight was at 1:30 in the morning, something like that. I'm old, y'all. I can't handle that. This is our birthday month for me and Greg, so y'all can definitely send some stuff to us if you like. Help the channel out, we appreciate that. But that fight last night, I'm showing my age because I was out, like I said, by Nina Hughes fight. I think that was like around 11 something. So Greg, you gotta take it from here. You gotta say what you saw in that fight, what you did see, because I think you were sleeping as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was dozing in and out. I did see the knockout in the 11th round. I did see some of the fight. Felt like Lomachenko looked good as far as I was concerned from what I saw from him. He looked sharp. He looked fast. Combinations were good. The angles that he was taking on George Kambosos looked good. So I like the way Lomachenko looked last night. Of course, you got to take it into consideration that he's in the ring with George Kambosos. He is not a top tier 135 pounder. He did beat Teofimo Lopez, but outside of that, he's lost to everybody else that he's been in the ring with when he stepped up to competition. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. But still, Lomachenko looked real good last night. He's a player at 135 pounds. I think he's probably going to be in the ring next with more than likely Shakur Stevenson. But as far as I was concerned, he looked good, man. I've always thought Lomachenko is a hell of a fighter. I know you don't think it's as much of Lomachenko, but I think Lomachenko is a hell of a fighter. I just think he was put on a pedestal that he hadn't yet earned. But definitely going to be a player moving forward. It was a good fight, good performance for Lomachenko, and I'm looking forward to see what happens for him in the next couple of fights. Oh, yeah, Cool JC. My birthday is May 24th. My homeboy Ryan birthday is May 26th. Gemini's in the building.
Y'all late to the party, man, but it's all about the Taurus, man. But
lames.
I got to record. Man, whatever. We start the month. Y'all just falling back behind us, like y'all get in line. I gotta watch the fight, see what Loma look like. But it's funny that now all of a sudden they're talking about Loma and everything looking great and all this stuff here, and when Tank calls him out, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, let's set that up, Jay, because when we hear, and this is where I was mentioning that I believe that I'm going to piss off Jay with this comment, because Jay is very critical of Gervonta Davis, and I don't think he keeps the same energy for Shakur Stevenson, meaning I just don't think it's level. I don't think it's balanced. I don't think, it's the same. And I know he tries to give him credit for being at 130 pounds, but in reality, we're talking about 135. And whatever Gervonta Davis does, it is not okay for Gervonta Davis, but for whatever reason, it's perfectly acceptable for all other fighters. I'm going to give you an example. When you look at Frank Martin was a hell of a fight for Shakur Stevenson, which I thought it was a great fight for Shakur Stevenson as well. But as soon as Gervonta Davis announces that he's going to fight Frank Martin, then all of a sudden it becomes an issue. Pitbull Cruz is a great fight for everybody outside of Gervonta Davis. Mario Barrios has proven his worth, but for whatever reason, that fight was only good for anyone other than Gervonta Davis. So there seems to be a bias as it relates to Gervonta Davis and whoever he fights. I mean, it's clear as day to me. Now, many people will say, oh, well, that's because we don't feel like Tank has fought the best available opponents. But how is it that he's not fighting the best available opponents? Because it seems like to me, his resume is aging like fine wine as his former opponents fight other fighters, right? It's clear to me Mario Barrios is a lot better than what we anticipated. Pitbull Cruz is looking like a player at 140 pounds. So clearly he's fighting good fighters, good competition, yet we want to discard it as something other than that. Now, when last night Gervonta Davis called out, from what I've been told, I was trying to find a tweet, but Gervonta deletes his tweets a lot. But from what I was told, he called out Lomachenko, and there was pushback, right, Jay, on Twitter in regards to him calling out Lomachenko. However, everybody's perfectly okay with Lomachenko versus Shakur Stevenson, and I struggle with understanding that. Like, to me, with a title in his hands, and Jay, this is what you've used as an argument in the past, with a title in his hands, if Gervonta Davis were to face him, that means that he's fighting a champion, which is what you put a lot of emphasis on. So it should be okay for Gervonta Davis to face Lomachenko next, if it's okay for Lomachenko to face Shakur Stevenson. So that's been my take on it, and I struggle to see why there isn't any balance there, right? With the Gervonta Davis detractors, Jay. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't understand that neither. It's like I thought Frank was a good fight for Shakur. Hell, we were talking big shit for that. We were happy as heck for that fight to potential be happening last year. Same thing with Loma. I wanted Loma to fight Shakur as well. So if Loma fights either one of them, it's not. I think it's a great fight either way. But it's like they're trying to save Loma for Shakur, saying that it's not good for Tank. It doesn't make sense to me. And like real shit, 30 say Bob protecting Loma, I believe. That's why he's steering away from Shakur. I mean, Shakur should have been had that fight with Loma. I was pissed off with the way they did Shakur when Loma lost to Dev and stayed at number 1. They screwed Shakur over in the section, but I think it was a WBO, I believe it was. WBO or WBC, I forget which one it was, but they screwed him over. And I was pissed that Shakur didn't go out harder at Bob and tell him to get that fight, as well as that the sanction bond, like, hey, how y'all gonna push me down for number 1 when this dude just lost? Whether or not you thought he won or not, he got the L. There's no way Shakur should have been pushed down to number 2. So I mean, either way, I see what Shakur's out there. He's clamoring for the fight because he wants to try to make up for his fight against Edwin De Los Santos and everything. But these people gotta keep it a buck when they're just PBC or Tank haters saying that it's not good for Tank to get a Loma fight, but it's good for Shakur. It's not good for Tank to fight Frank. After saying that Tank doesn't fight black fighters, slick black fighters, and all this, then the third, but he's doing all that now. But it's still not good enough. When Frank's a top 5 on lightweight at this current time at 135, he's a top 5 easily right now. So I mean, this is going to be a good fight with Tank and Frank, but Tank and Loma, I think that'd be a good fight as well.
Yeah, I see here they're talking about Tank should fight a prime fighter. Okay, and I'm fine with. I don't know if Lomachenko is in his prime. I'm fine with that if he's not in his prime. If we want to make the argument that he's not in his prime and we don't want to see Gervonta Davis in the ring with a fighter that's not in his prime, that's cool. But then also you should feel the same way about Shakur Stevenson. I don't want to hear you talking about Shakur Stevenson that's an okay fight. Why? Because that doesn't make any sense to me. If Shakur comes up and fights Lomachenko, then I don't want to hear nothing about, I want to hear that same energy. Why Shakur Stevenson fighting Lomachenko? He's not in his prime. I want to hear the same argument. That's my only issue. Just keep it the same on both sides. That's all I really care about. And the thing about this is, so that argument is made. Gervonta Davis should be fighting a fighter that's in his prime. He's going to fight Frank Martin, who's 29 years old. And when you think about it, he's got to be at least a top 5, 135 pounder. Yeah, but that's not a good fight either. Okay, so what is a good fight then, dog? Because the only good fights for Gervonta Davis is Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney or I don't even know if Ryan Garcia, maybe Tio. But anybody Shakur fights is a good fight. Make it make sense, dog. Make it make sense. That's where I'm, dog. I want to hear that same energy, because isn't Shakur fighting the guy that gave Tank? I can't remember. I don't know. Yeah, that Tank. That Frank beat, but gave Frank some problems. He's fighting that same guy, but yet I ain't heard no issues with it yet. No one said anything negative about it yet. So that's my issue, man. Just keep the same energy, dog. Like, I'm cool with. If you feel like you need to criticize Tank, I'm not gonna give Tank that same criticism because I feel like I'm good with what he's doing right now. And I think he's talking about Shakur is on the hit list. He's talking about Loma. He's talking about guys who are top fighters at 135. And now that's an issue, right? I'm cool with what he's doing. If you have an issue, if you're finding caveats or nuances that you believe discredit Gervonta Davis for whatever reason, that's fine. As long as you keep that same energy with the other guys. That's all I really care about, Jay.
No, yeah, I fully agree with that. And we had said last year before this fight got announced for Tank, like this year we need to see Tank fight 1 or 3 people. This before Devin got beat by Ryan is what we said. Devin, Frank, or Shakur. Mm-hmm. Those were the 3 fights we wanted to see him fight. He's fighting Frank right now. Yep. He's also said that Shakur is on his list on his 6 to 7 fight deal.
Yep.
He also said Loma was on that list as well. So I mean, I'm not sure what the hell else Tank has to do at this point in time. You know, and then I'm like, Tank wins these fights, then people gonna be like, oh well, he aged this person out, he did this, he did that. I'm like, y'all can't have it both ways, man. I mean, one person said that Tank would never fight a black fighter. And here we are with him and Frank on June 15th. Can't wait.
Facts.
And I like Frank too. I like Frank as
Facts.
a fighter.
All right, man. So let's change subjects, man.
Yeah, so let's talk about let's talk about your favorite fighter, Claressa.
Yeah, go ahead.
Claressa Shields. So she has been on Twitter talking a lot of noise, and now she's challenging Ryan Garcia. She's talked about Tank. She's talked about Keith Thurman in the past. So it makes no sense to me for Claressa to be really challenging these fighters. It doesn't make sense at all because she's not going to beat none of them. None of them. She has great skills. But her talking about she's going to beat Keith Thurman, she's going to beat Tank or beat Ryan Garcia. Stop it. That's not going to happen, Claressa. You're a phenomenal fighter. You've done things that no one else has done. Two-time gold medalist. I know Loma has two golds as well. Two-time undisputed. You're a beast. But stop it. You ain't going to beat Keith Thurman. Keith will put you out. Tank will put you out. And Ryan will put you out. Now, I don't regret them calling you out your name or anything like that. That's not cool neither. But for you to talk about you gonna whoop them and do that, nah, stop that. What's your thoughts on your girl Claressa? Now, Greg loves your song though, loves your rap.
Yeah, let me stop by. Before I start, I want to say shout out to Greatest Thinker, man. I haven't seen you in a while, bro. I haven't seen you in the comment sections or in the live, but I appreciate you stopping by, fam. I know you disagree with a lot of what we were saying, but at the same time, man, we like people that disagree with what we're saying. So shout out to Greatest Thinker. Claressa Shields. I want to start off with superlatives. She is, in my opinion, the greatest woman fighter to have ever stepped into the ring. If you look at her accolades, 2 times undisputed, amateur, Olympian, you name it. She has the complete pedigree. She is everything that you want to see in a woman's boxer. And not only that, but she's loquacious. She doesn't mind speaking her mind. And that is something that she can use to sell herself. Like, I got a lot of love for Claressa Shields. Like, a lot of love for her in terms of what she's done, who she is, and the direction that she's moving in her movement. But with that being said, I am absolutely tired of her calling out men. I'm tired of it. I don't like when women get in men's conversations, when they get into men's beef that doesn't have anything with you. Conversely, I do not like when men get into women's beef. And I give you an example. Like, if my wife is in a conversation with another woman, I am not getting into that. She can vent to me as much as she wants to vent to me. However, if you think that I'm going to insert myself in that beef, I'm not going to do that. So I do not believe in men getting into women's beef. I do not believe in women getting into men beef. Too often we see Claressa Shields in men's beef. Why is she sitting up there? I don't have to say pause with that, do I? No, I don't, because it's a woman talking about it. Yeah. So she's too often she's getting into those situations and she shouldn't be. I criticize Alicia Baumgardner for the same thing when she got into it with the Haneys and Adrian Broner. That's not your place. You don't need to be speaking on that. All you need to do is if Bill has you on the live, you say, ha ha ha, Bill, okay, I see what you say. Okay, Bill, okay. And then you move on. But what you don't do is insert yourself in that conversation, because what can end up happening is exactly what happened to Alicia Baumgardner, which is Adrian Broner getting at her. Now, Alicia Baumgardner, to her credit, she pulled back off that. She said, hey, you know what? He said what he said. I'm not going to keep trying to go at Adrian Broner because that ain't really my place. But Shields, she just simply does not understand that she needs to fall back. Yo, You inserted yourself into that situation, and you can make the argument that Gervonta Davis inserted himself into that situation between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, and that's perfectly fine. But he is a male boxer who has history with both of those gentlemen. He has been in the ring with Ryan Garcia, and he sparred Devin Haney, has had beef with Devin Haney for quite some time. So if he's jumping into that and he's talking, so be it. But Claressa needs to fall back and then challenging Ryan Garcia, doing spaces that are at least 40 minutes, an hour, talking about these two men, and then challenging them to, well, not challenging them, but challenging Ryan Garcia to a fight. Stop. I don't care who you think Ryan Garcia is. I don't care what you think he is in terms of his skills as a fighter, his power, his endurance, whatever you think about Ryan Garcia, whether you think about him outside of the ring, it doesn't matter. You can't beat him. You won't even get close to beating him. If Ryan were to go into that ring and take it seriously, he'd put you out in under 2 rounds. That hook that he caught Devin with would have put you in night land. So stop challenging men. That is not what we're here for. That is not what we should be doing. We should be elevating women's sports. We should be elevating women's boxing. That's what I want to see Claressa Shields do. Elevate women's boxing, get into the ring with some of those women and make those fights happen. But the fights that we have currently, or the conversation that she's currently having with other fighters that are males, they're counterproductive. They are not going to yield her anything. I believe she thinks that it's going to give her some clout or something like that. I don't know. And I am a firm believer of good press or bad press is good. So her name is out there to some extent. But like the challenging of men and putting yourself in men's business, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, it's like with her, like I said, she's highly skilled, man. She is, she's a GOAT. I can't deny that. I support her, support Alicia Baumgart at the same time. So for in the speculation, all the stuff with the dope and anything like that, but her coming at Keith Thurman, saying all that stuff about Keith Thurman. If Keith was to fight her, it's a lose-lose for him. For any of these guys here, if anyone were to fight him, it would be wrong. It's wild to me. So, I mean, she just needs to go ahead and get the fight on with Alicia or someone else and move on. I watch her when she's doing MMA. I watch basically almost every one of her fights. So I don't understand why she keeps going to these guys. You have other fighters that you can deal with. Point blank theory. I mean,
I agree. I agree. Shout out to the greatest thinker. He said, to be fair, Claressa's same chin as Devin. Ooh. Okay. All right. Yeah. At the end of the day, Claressa's a hell of a fighter. I got a ton of respect for her. I know if she were to see this video, because these fighters are sensitive, man. And we talk about this all the time, Jay. I'm going to bring it up again. We grew up in an era where we weren't sensitive like that. Your mama cussed you out, your daddy cussed you out, your cousins cussed you out, your auntie cussed you out, your coach cussed you out, your bus driver cussed you out, everybody cussed you out. And you got called everything up under the sun. You see these lips on me? These lips have been picked on I don't know how many times when I was a kid growing up. You can't do that when you back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But these days, these guys are so sensitive. You can't say nothing about them. You can't criticize them. You can't give them critique, nothing. They start to talk about, oh, you've never been in the ring. If you've been in the ring, then you just old. Or if you've been in the ring, you ain't never accomplished nothing. If you accomplished something, you just old. So really, in reality, you simply cannot critique them on anything. They don't want to be critiqued. Versus when we grew up, I liked for a coach to have his foot in my ass. Dude, pause. But the thing about it was, coaches were tough. I liked that kind of environment. I liked the strong words. I liked the criticism because the criticism motivated me. Criticism doesn't really motivate these guys, man. They just whine like bitches.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild, but we'll see if it continues or not. I'm just tired of the back and forth, especially with her and the dude, and the dudes going back and forth with one another like that, because ain't no one wins in that. There's no winners in that. If they were to fight her, they have everything to lose. Everything to lose. Nothing to gain in that, man.
But Ryan Garcia, the type of dude that he might actually make it happen. Ryan might be like, you know what? Screw it. Let's get in the ring. Let's see what happens. Ryan is that kind of dude, bro. He might actually do that. You never know with Ryan Garcia, dog.
Yeah, and like Jermaine Wood says, like, what makes Shields think she can beat these men? She cannot punch her way out of a wet paper bag.
I think I think sparring with men in situations where she's never really truly been hurt, I think gives her the impression that she can actually hang with these men. I would argue, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would argue that a guy that goes to a gym and probably trains for 6 months, if he's Clarissa's size, he knock her out. He knock her out because the explosiveness, the power is just different. And she thinks that because these men are sparring her, they're not throwing hard shots. They're not throwing the shots that would put her on her ass. That would like even the shot that the video that we saw where the guy put her on her ass. I mean, that punch wasn't really that hard. He just put her on her ass. The dude wasn't even big like that. He just put her on her ass. So, I like Claressa. I want to see her. I would love to see her against Baumgartner. I think she beats Baumgartner, and I love Baumgartner. That's my girl. But she gonna beat Baumgartner. But y'all are two African American women, man. Why don't y'all go get that bag together? Y'all can both get paid. That fight will be huge. Y'all can both get paid, specifically in the African American community where people are gonna support both sides. That's a big fight. Make it happen. But outside of that, man, stop talking about the men, man. Stop talking about men. I don't want to hear that.
Does she even have another fight lined up yet?
I don't know who she fighting. Have you heard about her fighting anybody? I haven't heard her fighting anyone.
I know last time she did was MMA.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that was the last thing she did. But we'll see, man. I know she talks some brags about her fiance and everything, so I'm happy for her on that. But I need to see her in the ring, against AB or against another one of those fighters around her weight class. I know she's not going to drop down to 147 to fight AB. She already proclaimed that, and AB not jumping up to 150, 154, 160 or something like that. It says so. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, so moving on.
Hold up, before we move on, we got 93 people in the building, and we got 39 likes. Guys, if you're in the building, please smash the like button. It helps everybody finds this content. Man, don't make me do the blue blood stuff. I don't want to be blue blood. Hey, man, what we do that at? Smash the... We ain't going up. We ain't doing nothing else until we get some likes up. Get the likes up, people. My peopleization. Come on, guys. Smash the like button so people can find the content. It's easy and it's free. If you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. We're always dropping boxing related content on a regular basis. You can find Jason and I all week long, monthly, dropping this great boxing content. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. You will enjoy this channel because you have a voice on this channel. You're not going to get deleted like some other people because you disagree with what they say. You can come on this channel. It is a platform for you to come on openly and talk and say whatever it is that's on your mind, whether you agree with us or not. So hit the subscribe button, become a subscriber to the channel. And if you are a subscriber to the channel, think about becoming a member. $2.99 a month. It helps the channel. I can tell you guys, YouTube, it takes money, dog. I know it looks, the setup here and the spinning logo and all of the designs and all that stuff, money. The computers that we use to actually run the software that we use so that we don't look like anybody else, money. So if you decide so, please think about becoming a member. Think about giving to the channel. Super thanks, super likes, whatever. We take them. We appreciate you. All right, Jay, where we at now?
Yeah. So moving on, let's talk about EJ. So a few things with Errol. In the WBC, he's been elevated to number 1. We know he stepped in the ring after Fundora and Tim Tszyu fought. He hopped in the ring, said he want to fight next. We know Fundora said that he had a nose issue, and he also talked about he was going to fight Tim Tszyu, give Tim Tszyu a rematch. We know Tim Tszyu's fighting in August, so I'm not sure how that's going to fare because Fundora might be back in maybe November, and also they've been talking about Fundora be needed to fight the winner out of Bud and Madrimov.
Yeah,
did they also say that?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I mean, it's a lot of moving parts on that, but with Spence saying elevated in the rankings to number 1. We know Bud's tied up in August. We know Fundora's probably come back in November. I could see it happening with on there. Now, is it right? Hell no. I don't think Spence should be number one, and that's our guy. But Spence should not be all of a sudden just coming to 154, coming off a loss, being ranked number one. That's not right. But we know how these sanctioning bodies do. They do stuff like that, do it all over the place. But him being on that also peeped out. The one clip that Spence put out there was him sparring or training rather, and the guy he was training was in a southpaw stance. So that's what made me led me to believe it will be Fundora towards the end of this year. So we'll see if that happens. But what's your thoughts on this whole EJ being elevated number one at WBC?
Yeah, man. So, like you, I believe that it should be Terrence Crawford. We've stated this on multiple occasions. For whatever reason, people think that we are joyous because Errol Spence may be getting the opportunity to face Fundora next and block Terrence Crawford. And the reason why they believe that is because it's true. I'm very excited. I would love to see Terrence Crawford blocked from becoming undisputed. Not necessarily blocked, but has to go through EJ again in order to make that fight. That is not going to go 100% Terrence Crawford way. That is not going to be set up through Turkey Al-Sheikh for him to have an easy route to becoming undisputed. But I do want Terrence Crawford to get the opportunity, and I really want to see Terrence Crawford fans upset. That's really the part that really gives me joy. People think I hate Terrence Crawford, and I said multiple occasions I don't hate Terrence Crawford. His cousin has been on the platform before. I've invited Bernie the Boxer on the platform, would have given him an open mic to say whatever it is that he wants to say, because I don't have a problem with anybody from Team Crawford. As a matter of fact, I've heard Team Crawford is actually really, really, really cool people, and I know his cousin Greg is absolutely cool. However, his fans are the ones that I can't stand. Really, well, not all of them. Not all of them. Some of them are the ones that I can't stand. They need a good kicking in the ass. I want to see them. I want to see them upset. I want to see them with that look of failure on their face, with the look of, oh my God, I don't know everything about boxing, because for whatever reason, they believe because of the results from July 29th, that means they know everything about boxing. Specifically, a guy that's currently on Twitter who continuously tries to call out our name that we will not ever respond to, so you might as well quit. And if you keep calling our name out, I'm just going to continue to go under your post and put the link to the channel there for people to come and subscribe to the channel. By the way, guys, we're almost at 16,000 subscribers. At the point in which July 29th, when the fight ended, we were at 8,900 subscribers. And we're now almost at 16,000. We're close to doubling in a year. I think we're going to double, Jay, by the time we get to the end of, by the time we get to July 29th, 2024. So for those of you that think we're going to stop, we're not. We're going to keep growing. So it is what it is. But yeah, Terrence Crawford, I think he should be the one that's in place in order to get that next fight. It does make sense. I have always been of the mindset that they need to set Errol Spence up to win a title at 54 and then have a rematch at 54. Because outside of Canelo Alvarez, I believe Terrence Crawford, specifically if Errol Spence looks good in his next fight without Derrick James, and you can use that caveat of, well, Derrick James is not there. He got a new trainer. He is improved. Not only that, you can use the caveat of 147 was no longer his weight class. I do believe that there's an opportunity to really sell that fight, and that can make Terrence Crawford a lot of money. So if Terrence Crawford is on his way to undisputed and have to go through Errol Spence again, I believe that he would be willing to do that, and he can make a pretty good amount of money. So I like that. I still believe Terrence Crawford should get the opportunity at Fundora first. And maybe Errol should go after like the IBF title or something like that. But we'll see what happens. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it is what it is. We know how the politics of boxing always come into play and mess things up for some of the fights that we want to see, some of the deserving fights for fighters, such as Benavidez versus Canelo. All the politics of boxing get in the way of that stuff there by not holding certain fighters' feet to the fire in a proper fashion. So we'll see what happens later on. I mean, I do really think that it's going to be EJ and Fundora, as Bud has all types of rumblings going on about what he may do with Turkey Al-Sheikh in December, January, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, I'll see. We're gonna watch the fight, of course. I think it'll be a good fight, because even before EJ and Bud fought, they had already talked about Fundora and EJ fighting a little bit before that. So they asked Fundora about that plenty of times. So I can see this coming to fruition later this year on that. But it is what it is, man. The politics of boxing are going to always be like this. Boxing is just a dirty business, and the fighters that deserve the fight sometimes don't always get it. And that's what's been happening for a while. It's going to continue until other things come out there and change some shit happening here. Now, also with EJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
So also with EJ, so EJ ripped the new one for Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia was coming out there talking noise about him, talking about he'll fight him. He'll knock EJ out, I think, in 2 rounds or something like that. And I'm sitting here like, that shit ain't happening, Ryan. Stop it, dude. When you throw your left hook, you keep your right hand low every time. So there ain't nothing going to happen with that. So, I mean, I don't know why Ryan's getting into the business that I know he's trained by Derrick James and whatnot, but still, though, why would you interject into talking about EJ and then saying all this, that you're a man of God and all this stuff there, but you're talking about EJ's baby mother and everything like that in that fashion, talking about you trying to get at her, just trying to poke at EJ. EJ said he ain't going to fight him. You know, although I would love to see that fight because I think it'll sell. You know, those two fighting, especially in Dallas, that fight will sell like crazy because of the drama's already there. The drama is built in, so there's no other drama need to be made. But I'm mad at EJ for not dealing with that.
So I saw a lot of pushback when we did the video. A lot of people in the comment section upset with the potential for this particular fight. Some people were just Errol Spence detractors. Others are just, they were fans of EJ. They just didn't like the fight. It's interesting to me because you could tell when there's a Terrence Crawford fan commenting on Errol Spence because they talk about he needs to get back into the ring with a really tough opponent. And Jay, how often have we seen a fighter get back into the ring with a really tough opponent after a tough loss? You don't typically do that. You typically want to build the fighter back up. You want to put him in the ring with something that's more of a soft touch, a tune-up, if you will, and make sure he's good. And maybe another comeback, build or fight, and then put him in the ring with somebody tough. You don't typically want to put somebody right into the ring with a really tough opponent. So the logic there makes absolutely no sense to me by those fans. Now, I saw a lot of pushback in regards to Ryan Garcia and Errol Spence related to the fact that they're saying that Ryan Garcia would be moving up 2 weight classes. And so to face Errol Spence. Well, let's think about this. Jay, let me ask you a question. At what weight class did Errol Spence last fight?
147.
Okay. Ryan Garcia in his last fight, in his last 2 fights, what did he weigh in at?
143.
So 143 will fall into what classification?
Welterweight.
And 147 is also welterweight. So in reality, these 2 gentlemen just fought. Basically, their last 2 fights have been at welterweight. Right or wrong?
Facts. Right.
Okay. So if they fight at 154, that means that both gentlemen will be moving up 1 weight class. It's as simple as that. So this whole thing about Ryan's moving up 2 weight classes and pretending as though Errol is already at 154, all false. Those arguments make no sense. So I would love to see that fight for Errol, number one, because it is a massive fight. Errol even mentioned it on Twitter that they would sell out. Jerry's World? They will sell that out. That fight would be massive. Not only because of Ryan Garcia, which I'm assuming that Jerry's going to call in today, and he didn't do anywhere near 1.5 million buys. I'm hearing it's close to like 3.25. But still, if you combine those 2 names, they'll do 800,000 buys, 700,000 to 800,000 buys, because of Ryan Garcia and all of the controversy that he's currently going through, Errol Spence's name, Dallas, and the fact that you got a backstory that the current trainer of Ryan Garcia is Errol Spence's old trainer, who they're currently locked in a lawsuit. So that is a big time story that would turn into big time revenue. So I'm surprised that Errol would not consider it if it's at 154. As a matter of fact, Bernard Hopkins was recently talking about it. So I think it's a viable fight. Now, if it's about legacy, I absolutely agree with everything that everybody said in the comment section. This does not add to Errol Spence's legacy. I heard people mentioning that he should be trying to figure out fights that's going to get him in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's important to Errol Spence. Maybe it is. But Errol can do both. he can both fight Ryan Garcia and get the biggest bag possible, because that's what our good friend Bud Crawford is currently doing, even though there's some legacy attached to what he's doing. But he can also move up to 154 pounds and chase legacy as well. He can win a title at 154, specifically if he gets the opportunity to face Sebastian Fundora. So Errol has enough time to do both. And I can tell you one thing, similarly to what Floyd Mayweather said, belts, they don't pay any bills. They don't feed anyone. You need to get the money. So he needs to get that money. And also he wants to be remembered as a legend. So at the end of the day, chase both. I would absolutely make that fight if I was Errol Spence.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about right now, we don't know what's going to happen with Ryan Garcia. You know, he gets his B sample. The B sample goes on May 22nd. We don't know if it's going to be a short suspension, long suspension, or any suspension whatsoever. You know, so he really can't do nothing until that's all in the clear. You know, and EJ already said he considers Ryan a tune-up. So he said, I don't do tune-ups. So EJ is going trying to go straight to Fundora, get that belt, get 2 belts, because it'd be the WBC and the WBO or WBA that Fundora has.
He's not going to get both belts. He has the WBC and the WBO. If Fundora doesn't fight Crawford next, all that will be available to EJ is the WBC.
WBC? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quickly, salute to MH for the $10. Ain't been around lately, showing some love. Appreciate you, MH.
Appreciate you, fam. Thank you. And I see Band Up's in the building. He wants to come in and get cooked up today.
He's ready. He's ready. But yeah, man. I mean, Brian got to get everything set up with his whole situation with the PED stuff, Australian and whatnot, and go from there. I mean, any amount in the system is going to be some sort of suspension, one way or another, I believe. And 6 months be typical. You know, that means he won't be back until end of the year. You know, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, continue on with EJ. You peeped this here, so you'll probably be able to speak more on it than I will. So Blu-ray signed
Blu-ray
on EJ and Derrick James. You know how he wants to get back to training EJ and everything, and trying to have he wants the match between EJ and Ryan if EJ would accept that, so he could train EJ. Derrick James is training Ryan, and it could be a big fight. He says, you know, winner pretty much take all. You know, if you say EJ owes you his money, if EJ wins, then you gotta owe him, pay him that money. If EJ loses, then he'll pay you the money, whatever. So, what's your thoughts on Blu-ray coming out, man?
It's interesting. Blu-ray seems to be advocating for himself to become the trainer of Errol Spence once again. And if you read between the lines of what he's saying, he's essentially saying, Jay, that there is a narrative out there that someone has presented something out there that seems to be a knock towards his training, and that he wasn't really doing anything in regards to Errol Spence, because he's talked about the push-ups. All Blu-ray does is push-ups. Push-ups, push-ups, push-ups. Yeah, I do a lot of push-ups, but Errol know why we doing push-ups, because we like push-ups. I mean, that part was kind of funny to me. But he implied that someone said, I'm not sure if it's Derrick James or not, but it could possibly be Derrick James. But he implied that someone said something negative about his training methods and that he wasn't really a valuable part of the team. And so what he would like to do is be a part of the training camp for a Ryan Garcia fight, so he gets the opportunity to face Derrick James, and then you can actually see who had the greater impact on EJ's career. Is it Blu-ray and his training, or is it Derrick James and what Derrick James brought to the table? So that's essentially what he was saying. I think it's an interesting concept. Again, I think the whole fight is interesting, and if you did add Blu-ray to the team somehow, it would become even more interesting, right? Because Blu-ray seems to not be shy about expressing his opinion. He also talked about, to your point, the lawsuit between Errol Spence and Derrick James, talking about how it could possibly play out, and if EJ wins, then Ryan Garcia would have to pay the amount supposedly that Errol Spence owes Derrick James, and if Ryan Garcia wins, then of course EJ would then pay Derrick James exactly what it is that he says that he's owed. So Very interesting concept by Blu-ray. I enjoyed the dialogue, specifically for somebody that's been in that camp. But I don't think EJ is going to bring Blu-ray back. It just doesn't feel like that's something he's going to do. It doesn't feel like he's willing to do that.
Yeah.
If he was willing to do it, I think he would have already reached out to him. According to Blu-ray, he said that he hasn't been reached out to by anybody from Team Spence. So I don't think it's going to happen, but definitely it's an interesting conversation. There are a lot of people that feel that Blu-ray was better for Errol than anyone else. I don't know. I don't know about the skills of Blu-ray. I don't know about his training methodology. I don't know, if it's any better than anyone else. I thought Errol looked real good and ready for Terrence Crawford until he actually got in the ring, and then his balance and things like that looked off. And to me, that's more so about training, not necessarily about physical training, but more so about boxing training. But I don't know. Maybe they're right. A lot of people want to see him back. We'll see what ends up happening. Before we move on, though, man, I want to give shouts out to Watch for the Hook, $2. Can y'all Blu-ray on the show? Can we get Blu-ray on the show? Is that what you're asking? We can try. I mean, man, let me say this. I want to make sure I word myself carefully. We have had more challenges with getting people on our channel lately than what we had originally, let's say back in 2023. I have a pretty good idea why. I kind of feel that there's probably been a word put out there not to come on our channel. I'm not going to say by who, but I personally feel like that's possible. Because people that we've had relationships with, that we visited their gym, not necessarily showing the same love that they did in 2023. So we could try to get Blu-ray on and see where it goes from there. I don't know. But a lot of people have issues with if you are critical of a fighter, or if you're running your channel in a certain way and they don't like the way that you're running your channel, then they'll push back in terms of people coming onto your show and stuff like that. So it is what it is. We'll try to get Blu-ray on. I'm 100% willing to reach out to him, but what I'm not willing to do is to compromise what we want to say on our platform at any time, in any way, shape, or form we want to say it. So we're not going to compromise ourselves to somebody that's trying to bully us or trying to position us to say something specific. We're not going to do that because, and this is the one great thing about this channel, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to ask y'all to smash the like button. I'm going to ask y'all to subscribe. Here's one great thing about this channel that I can say, no, like a lot of other content creators, specifically some of the bigger ones, and you guys know who I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about, and I'm gonna throw some names out there. I'm not talking about Manager Marty. I'm certainly not talking about my guy Fanon. But there are some larger outlets out there that their livelihood depends on their channel. Like they are 100% YouTubers. Jason and I are not. The contribution that you give to this channel helps us run this channel. We don't take outside money from anyone, and I know for a fact that other channels do, and they are paid to push narratives. We push what we believe, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. What comes out of our mouths, we believe, and we are not paid by anybody, and we have not been influenced by anybody, although I can certainly tell you that people have tried. So yeah, I thought I'd put that out there. So make sure y'all smash the like button. If you're in the building, we got 131, smash the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but make sure you're engaging. And if you're new to the channel, become a subscriber, because again, we are not bought or paid for. This is a platform where you get the opportunity to speak, and this is a platform where you'll never be blocked for your opinion. So make sure you become a subscriber, and subscribers, think about becoming members. $2.99 a month. It helps support the channel because YouTube, whether you believe it or not, takes money, specifically when you bring the level of production that we're currently bringing. I know a lot of people that are using their phones. You can tell when somebody's using their phone to actually do interviews or to do their podcast. They're straight using phones. They're not investing in their channel. So why not invest in ours? So consider becoming a $2.99 member. Super thanks. Super likes. Is that what it's called? Whatever. Think about doing that, man, because it helps support the channel. All right, Jay. So you're about to go somewhere.
Yeah, I just want to respond. Dragon 98 says Fanon will cook both of you. Like, Fanon is the big homie, if you ain't know.
Yeah, Dragu 98. Fanon is like I can text Fanon right now. Like
exactly.
I literally hold on. I literally, if I were to call Fanon right now, I could probably get Fanon to come. I could probably text Fanon right now and ask him to join our live. Like Fanon is our dog. So I don't know where you're getting that from, but yeah, Fanon is our dude. Let me see. Hold on, let me go. I'm gonna actually show y'all something real quick. I'm not gonna show you the actual text thread or anything like that. Where's that text?
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny. I mean, we have a lot of connections that y'all would be surprised that we have. Hell, we were surprised connection we got.
Hey, let me know if y'all can see that. But if you can see that, you can see Fanon's name in my text. Yeah. You should be able to see Fanon name right there. That F, that's Fanon. So yeah, Fanon is the homie.
He's the homie. So
Jay Sanders says Greg get his goofy takes from Fanon. Actually, I don't, because Fanon and I actually don't even watch each other's channel because we want to keep ourselves pure and we don't want to influence each other in terms of our opinions. So I don't watch what Fanon like puts out. Fanon is the dude that reached out to us because he saw what we were doing in the movement that we were creating and showed a ton of love. So Fanon is the big homie, bruh. Period.
Yep. Yeah. Jay asked me about, my thoughts on Blu-ray training aspect. Is like, I don't know Blu-ray's training regimen because I was a person training for 10 years. So, I mean, that'd be cool to have Blu-ray on here so I could just listen to what he's saying and see what type of game. I mean, he's not going to put the full regimen out there because he don't want to give it out and let other people use it for free, but just listen to some of the things Blu-ray has said. I definitely align with a lot of things he said and some of his methodology on that. So I can agree with that. People who talk about push-ups, there's more to it than just that. That's just a small little thing when it comes to creating a workout regimen, especially when you train elite fighters such as Errol Spence. So, I mean, I will hold off. I can't say anything about what Blu-ray has done or has not done. I don't know his training regimen. I haven't seen in one training session what he did when he trained him, as far as strength and conditioning. So, to be fair, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
real quick, Jay, shout out to Barbara D. The queen is in the building.
What's up, Barbara D?
What's going on, Barbara D? Hey, Jay, you say Fanon is hella biased. I get what you're saying. We're all hella biased. Everybody has their biases. We all have biases. It's just that how do we support our biases? Do we support them with fact or do we support them with feelings? But we all have biases. All right, Jay, where you about to go?
Yeah. So moving on. So let's talk about your favorite Mexican fighter of all time, Canelo Alvarez.
Oh yeah, Sir Canelo Alvarez. Okay, what do you want to talk about in regards to Canelo?
So I've been seeing some things. I've been sending you some things as well. I've been seeing about the Canelo and Munguia fight.
Yeah.
Some of the numbers supposedly have come out, and it was less than like 520K.
Yeah.
For those two, and that's a trend of Canelo going on a downward way. On that, if those numbers are correct, I find it kind of funny that those numbers have supposedly come out already, and Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney's haven't come out yet neither. Yeah, so, but it is what it is. So, but if those are true, what do you think about Canelo's marketability, or is it because he's not giving us the fight that we want? Do you think he's on the tail end, he's done, or can he bounce back by fighting Benavidez or someone like of that nature?
Man, that's a great question, Jay, and that's a great way to frame it. I think Canelo Alvarez. I think personally there is a level of impact to him, and I thought, in our last live I mentioned that I believe, and our lives are 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. It's just that this past Sunday we decided to do something different for Mother's Day, or this Sunday rather. But I feel that if you look at what Canelo has been doing over the last few years, Canelo has been he hasn't been giving us the fights that we want. And eventually, when you don't give the public the fights that you want or the fights that they want, then eventually what's going to end up happening is you're going to get a lot of pushback from the general public. I think he's getting pushback from Mexican American fans. We got Adrian that calls into our show every Sunday, and he doesn't like Canelo Alvarez. And I think there's a lot of Mexican Americans that have an issue with Canelo Alvarez. We've seen some of the legends, Marco Antonio Barrera, who have mentioned Canelo Alvarez not in favorable terms. So I think eventually it's going to bite him. And I think right now it may already be biting him, because everybody wants the Benavidez fight. As much as Terrence Crawford fans try to clamor for the fight between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, there's not a lot for Canelo Alvarez to gain for that fight. The fight that he's going to gain a lot from is Benavidez. And the reason why is I believe that there is a substantial amount of money out there, because there's pent up demand for him to get into the ring with David Benavidez. So I believe that there's a substantial amount of money above and beyond what he's currently getting as a guarantee of $35 million for a Benavidez fight. And what the people are currently showing is that, you know what? This isn't the fight that we want. Me personally, I didn't buy the fight. Now, as many of you know, I was down in Mexico during that time. So in Mexico, the fight is actually free. It comes on regular TV. So I didn't buy the fight. I think a lot of people didn't buy the fight because they didn't have much interest in Jaime Munguia. I mean, 520,000, if true, is a good number. Don't get me wrong. That's a great number for a fight. But it's not typical Canelo Alvarez's numbers. You want to see him 7 or so, 7 and above. And for the $35 million that you have to pay him guaranteed. So these fights are not going to cut it. Berlanga is not going to cut it. The fight that's going to generate a ton of money for him is David Benavidez. Now, is it possible that Terrence Crawford could generate a lot of money for him? Sure, if Turki Al-Sheikh is involved. Because I think Turki Al-Sheikh may be willing to pay more than what the fight actually generates in order to make the fight. But I think a lot of I think the Terrence Crawford fight honestly is going to be predicated on whether or not the August card is successful. I believe it's on pay-per-view. And if it's successful with Terrence Crawford as the headliner, then maybe that fight will be something that Canelo Alvarez will be interested in. It can generate a lot of money. But Canelo really doesn't have anything to gain from Terrence Crawford unless it's a huge paycheck. And I'm telling you guys, Terrence Crawford in and of himself today, without any other substantial information, I'm just talking about information based on what we know today, does not bring enough incremental dollars to Canelo Alvarez to make it worth his time. But David Benavidez, we know, does, because that pin-up demand is there. So I think we're going to continue to see this on Canelo Alvarez's behalf in terms of his pay-per-view status and being a star in the sport, if he doesn't eventually agree to a David Benavidez fight. Now, Canelo may be very smart in that he knows that there's this pin-up demand for a David Benavidez fight, and therefore he's pushing the envelope there. He's stalling that fight to get the maximum amount of money that he's going to get in order to make that fight. There very well may be that situation currently going on. But for right now, I think his next fight is probably going to do even worse than those numbers, if true. So, Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, especially about like I was reading some tweets after the fight, and everything. Like they had someone that tweeted about actually I believe it was the Zone had posted Canelo's retort to someone asking about Benavidez and everything. He wants to with his family, and he talked about 200 million here and there. And I was going through the tweets, and they were in Spanish. You hit the translation. Man, they were going in, they were going off, talking about he's a coward, how he's ducking Benavidez, and the whole nine. So it's like a lot of the Mexican fans don't like that shit. They want to see their fighters fighting the top fighters that they've always seen, like the Juan Melco. I mean, the old school Mexican fighters, that fought everybody, anybody. It's a clear duck when you're saying, "Oh, he only brings 25 pounds to the table, but you got to pay me 200 million to fight him." You're pricing yourself out on purpose, dude. I mean, come on, man. Stop it. Stop the cap, man. It's just ridiculous for him. And Canelo is a hell of a fighter. People get mad. Try to say, "Oh, you can't talk about Canelo." You say, I'm not saying Canelo's a shitty fighter. He's not. He's a hell of a fighter. I want to see him fight the best. He's holding the belts. Benavidez was a mandatory. Morrell was a mandatory. Bubba Andrade was a mandatory. Jamal Charlo was a mandatory. When Jamal was fighting, was an active fighter. None of that happened. There's reason why he didn't go that route. Not saying he was going to lose to those fights, but those were tougher challenges than what he actually faced. The Billy Joe Saunders, the Abney Urim, the Chavez Juniors. I mean, come on, man. Let's just be real with it. So he needs to be fighting the best out there. Amir Khan. What the hell was that even about? So miss me with the say, "Oh, he fights everybody." No, he doesn't. He's selective when he fights them. If he didn't have the belts, it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But when you look on those threads on Twitter from the Zone when he was talking, you can see the Mexican population, they're not happy about it. They want to see the best fight the best.
I agree. I totally agree with that. And, at the end of the day, some people don't believe that the Mexican fans are not the only fans that are out there. I totally agree with that. But I would say that they are a large part of the reason why Canelo Alvarez has been successful. And not only that, they mirror what other fans feel as well. So I believe personally that they are a representation of what general boxing fans feel. And if he doesn't get on track, there's probably going to be an issue there in regards to Canelo Alvarez. So it is what it is. So Jay, what's your next topic, bro? And I guess I should go ahead and open up the phone lines. And so hold up, but before we do that, Jay. So as I mentioned earlier today, we got our Discord. For those of you who are joined to the Discord, we currently have it. And we have the lounge open in the Discord, which means that you can join the lounge. And I'll be looking out for it. I got it on my other screen here. And I'll see who's in the lounge. Right now, you'll see I'm in the lounge. My name is Greg the Conqueror. And for those of you who want to get on simultaneously, or you want to debate someone. I know last week, I think 2 Cent Boxing wanted to have the opportunity to talk to our good friend Jerry. And so we're going to try this out. Hopefully it works. This is the first time trying it out. I had hoped to get it started ahead of time, but unfortunately we didn't get a chance to test it because of Mother's Day today. I've been so busy, but we're going to try it. And the Discord's active. Jay, absolutely. We get active in the Discord. And we're also going to open up the phone line. So we're going to do both. So give me 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that Canelo Benavidez would be the biggest fight this year, man. Biggest fight this year. The way that fight was sell like crazy.
I think so. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open, and then let me get the phone line on the screen so that people can see what the number is. Well, that's weird. There we go. There's the phone. All righty. So phone lines are open. Jay, we can just continue with whatever it is that we're doing currently. I don't see anybody in the lounge yet. I don't see anybody calling in. All right. So did you have something else?
Yeah, man. Now, I mean, we ran through everything we needed to, so the phone lines are open. So
yeah. So I guess I can just continue
in Discord, Greg.
Say that again.
Lil J said, you get Greg gets cooked every day.
I don't get cooked at all in the Discord. 857, what's going on with you, fam?
What's going on, man? FSU in the building.
All day, every day.
I was listening, and the thing that cracks me up about the YouTube channels, right, and the people that, call in or, subscribe and say things, and like when they were speaking on Fanon earlier, and they were like, Fanon's biased. And it just drives me crazy because they're saying Fanon's biased because he doesn't he sucks against the fighter that they're biased for. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
Like, if Fanon goes off about the Devin Haney fans, because really, they're like Pacquiao and Canelo fans. They're some of the most ludicrous fans ever. It's like Bill Haney could come out and say the sky's pink, and they will all, if you say it's not pink, they will act like you are nothing. They'll talk trash about your family and everything. It's like everybody's going to be a little biased for their fighters. But for a person to say one person's biased when he's not saying, oh, great things about their fighter, you're biased too. We all are a little biased, just like you were saying earlier. But what y'all were just talking about the Canelo fight, the only way Canelo fights Benavidez is if Benavidez looks bad against this next dude, because this dude can fight. So if he sees that Benavidez looks bad, he might take the fight. Canelo does that. He either gets you coming off a loss or when you start to look bad. He's not going to fight Benavidez like Benavidez has been looking. If Benavidez keeps going through these cats, Canelo's going to stay away. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because like you said, he's going to make decent money fighting dudes like Jaime McGee, guys who've never fought anybody. It's like his track record with the Rocky Fieldings and them stuffs lately, you can't, even Mexicans I know can't justify it. They're like, they don't understand it. If he fights Edward Berlanga, that's crazy. It's so, to me, I've given up on the Canelo thing because I don't see it. The reason why I'm telling y'all I want him to fight Crawford, because I think Crawford's the only, he'll take that money because he'll think he has his size can beat Crawford, which I don't think. I think Crawford beats him. But, everybody got their own opinion. But that's a fight I think he'll take over Benavidez because he thinks it's an easier fight. He's always looking for the easiest way to get the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what y'all was saying earlier, I don't understand Spence not taking that bag on the Ryan fight. It's because that's like a bag. He might even get more money than he got against Terrence Crawford for that fight. So it's like, how you turning down that, and if you jump right back into the door and get smashed, your career is over. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's like, there's a lot of things. I just want to, and last thing I want to say, y'all watched last night. That was a real C-class fighter in there last night. A guy who if Tio took seriously, would have never had the belts. You know what I'm saying? And Devin Haney went 12 rounds twice with that dude, and Lomachenko broke him up like day old crackers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so, I mean, and look at me, I'm hating on Devin a little. Not because of Devin, to be honest with you, not because of Devin. Like I said, it's because how his father, and they've made this dude out to be King Kong. So, I hope Devin gets back in there with dude from Spain and does his thing, gets back on his bike, starts fighting the way he should fight, But the funniest part of it, I was talking to my nephew about the Ryan Garcia thing. When that interview on ESPN, Devin wants no part of Ryan Garcia. It's like, and it shows, like you said, he didn't say that Austrian made dude feel stronger. He said, I've never been in there with somebody that much better than him. It's like, so how you saying that? It's like, and then you're going to say, oh, I won't fight him no more. Anybody who would do would cheat, and if I'm supposed to be the baddest man in the land, I'm going back out there and showing everybody I can whoop his ass. Even if I got a jab in the death for 12 rounds, I'm going to show everybody I can do it. And if he doesn't take that fight, it really drops him down even further on my observation, because I'm like, how do you not do that? If a dude saying he cheated you, and he's a C-class fighter, aren't you trying to go out there and show the world that you can handle this dude? It's like, to me, it's crazy. And I'm looking forward to Tank and Frank and all these other things coming up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think we got to fight next week too, don't we?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Who's fighting next week?
The heavyweights.
Fury.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not a fan of Tyson Fury. I mean, I'm kind of hoping Usyk wins that fight. But I mean, if you look at Fury, he looked like he in the best shape I've seen that man in a minute. Fury must got him a little shook, because Fury doesn't look like he got on some of that Ozempic and running. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. I was like, God damn, Tyson. I had a double take when I saw the picture of the brother.
He looked pretty lean.
Like, man. Yeah, he did, man. So he looked like he dropped a good baby or two out there. I'm like, what? I'm like, damn. He looked better than he looked before when he fought Klitschko. I'm like, damn, this dude, what?
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah. But I'm pulling for. I hope Usyk, wins the fight. But if Fury wins it, man. But I just wish that, like, people who were saying any y'all about talking about Fanon's bias, people hate Fanon because Fanon tells the truth whether you like it or not. And it's like, I don't agree with everything Fanon says, but I watch him every time he's on if I have the time, because he gives you a lot of stuff and he's honest. It's like, dude, it's like, even when he said, like, we all thought Errol was going to beat Terrence, he still had Terrence his number one pound fighter in the world. And people forget that. They act like, oh, he's hating on Terrence. How he saying Terrence is number one pound for pound? All he thought was, like I thought, that Errol could beat him.
Same.
And then when Terrence whooped his ass, I agreed. Terrence is the man.
Dude, we had Terrence Crawford as the number one pound for pound fighter in the world as well. And for whatever reason, it's like we crapped on him. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's the thing what I was saying about people when they talk about bias. Unless y'all saying their fight is the king of everything, then you're biased. But when they say their fight is the king of everything, I'm not biased. What I'm saying is the truth. Like, come on, bro. We all human beings. We all got what we like and what we dislike. But anyways, y'all have a good day, man.
Appreciate you, fam.
All right. You're welcome.
I want to give Watch for the Hook some love. Watane calling out old Loma. Well, you don't have a problem with. Do you have my question to you is, do you have a problem with Shakur Stevenson calling out old Loma? Because he's been calling him out. He called him out last night as well. So if you don't have a problem with Shakur, you can't have a problem with Tank. ASVP TV. Huh?
Didn't Loma look good?
Yeah, he looked good. Absolutely. ASVP TV, what's going on with your fam? $9.99. Gotta keep it a buck. I don't care what Mexican fans want, because like you said, they're going to watch it for free. I do want David versus Canelo, but if you're not going to fight David, then I need to see Bud versus Canelo. My lender for life. Jerry, you there? Hold on. Jerry, you there? I don't know what happened then. That was my lender for life, but somehow, I don't know, something weird happened then. Yeah. Something weird happened there. Something weird. Okay. Man, this better not be no damn band up.
You know it is. You know it is.
What's going on, fam?
And I got something for everybody in the chat. I want everybody in the chat to know. Everybody, Greg has been yelling at me. Everybody through text. I can hear it through the language, through the typing of his letters. He has been yelling at me through text all week. But I got something for Jason and Greg. For one, I'm starting this week different. I'm on Jason. Jason, I heard you say earlier in the week that Bud really ain't no draw like that. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the Bud Crawford? The Terrence Bud Crawford? That's TKO and everybody at the welterweight division. You talking about that man ain't no draw? And you guys are going to see here presented like he has to do well. Like this next fight is the end-all, be-all for Canelo to take the fight. That is not the case. Bud just sold big his last fight, did he not? No matter if Errol was tied to it or not. Did he not make big numbers in his last fight?
Did he headline it?
What are you talking about? No matter if he headlined it, is it not a part of his numbers? Is that not going on his accolades and his record? Now you talk about did he headline anything? Is it going in his numbers or not?
Usually the numbers are attributed to the person who's headlining the band up.
If you in a fight, bro, if you made this fight, Terrence Crawford's numbers is going to be used in that.
So can I ask you a question?
What he did.
Can I ask you a question?
You said what?
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe that the fight that fight with Errol Spence. Errol Spence was the draw, and the fact that fight had been a fight in the making for a while. Just hear me out. So if that is not the case, and Terrence Crawford is the draw, because Terrence hadn't drawn anything prior to that, but if Terrence Crawford is the draw, then that means that the August 3rd card should sell, specifically because the undercard is so fantastic, right? Isn't that a fair assumption? If he sells and you got a great undercard, so he sold 700,000, and now we're talking about an undercard that's the greatest undercard we've ever seen in North America, and he sold 700,000 buys, then isn't it fair for me to say, well, then this card should do $1 million, right? Because he's a draw. Isn't that a fair assumption?
This car should do huge numbers. We're not going to sit here and say it has to do $1 million for it to be.
No. This is
what you want to do. You want to put a number cap like $1 million and say if he does 900, he's not a draw.
No. I wouldn't do that. If he's doing anything around 900 or $1 million, I'd give that to him. Like I said that he should do 1.5. You're telling me that he did 700,000 buys with Errol Spence alone. He got a draw in Madrimov, because you guys are talking about how dangerous he is. And on top of that, you got Deontay Wilder supposedly that's going to be on the card. You got Virgil Ortiz versus Tim Tszyu. You got Pitbull
Andy
versus
Ruiz,
Rayo.
Andy Ruiz.
This is a huge card. So you're telling me if Terrence Crawford, okay, it should do. Okay, so hold on. Let me say this. So Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia did 1.2. And you're telling me that Terrence Crawford is a draw with the best North American card ever, and that North American card well surpasses what was on the undercard of Gervonta Davis. So why isn't 1.5 million fair? Hold on, no, answer my question. Why isn't 1.5 million fair?
1.5 million can be fair if you frame it from that perspective.
Okay.
If you're framing it from that perspective,
that's the only perspective to frame it from.
My rebound to that. Outside of that Tank and Ryan, which Ryan has a huge ass social media following. Let's keep it a fact. Ryan had huge outside numbers of boxing. Ryan probably has more than Canelo. But
can I ask you a question?
Put together on social media.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
No, I'm not done with it, Greg.
But hold on. I gotta insert something though. I gotta insert one thing.
Hold on. Ryan ain't never fought for a belt. We're talking about somebody that never fought for a belt before he stepped into it with Tank. So where did his numbers even come from? Somebody that never even came from pay-per-view. Ryan had no previous pay-per-views that was selling anything like that, right? Okay. So that number was off of who? Tank. So we're gonna sit here and say Ryan bought what? Ryan bought what do they call it? What do you guys call it? New eyes to the platform or
put cheeks in seats.
What do you guys call them?
General fans.
General public. He brought the general public to boxing. Yep. So that's why it became so big. Let's not keep it a stack like it's all boxing and it's all off of back records why the fight became so big and it got 1.5.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question because you going off on a tangent and that's all fine. Now let me ask you a question. If Ryan Garcia is all that and he brought so many eyeballs because of his social media presence, let me ask you a question. What were the pay-per-view numbers for Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney?
I don't know. I haven't looked that up.
I can tell you because I've been told three and a quarter. I've heard 3 1/4. So he ain't the pay-per-view star. No. He ain't the pay. And even the one that's out there from your boy Rick Glacier, who I don't believe at all. Even his is only 500,000. So he isn't as big as you think he is.
Ryan, you know what the difference is? What's
the difference?
We already seen that man give up.
So hold on. Hey, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Followers believing he
can I ask you a question?
And his hand speed is all amazing.
Can I ask you a question? How many when Oscar De La Hoya fought Floyd Mayweather, how many fights that he had already lost? When Oscar De La Hoya fought Bernard Hopkins, how many fights he had already lost?
I have no idea how many.
We're still doing numbers. Your argument makes no sense.
That was a different time period.
Oh my God! Now it's a different time. I'm gonna tell you something. Pay-per-views aren't that It is a different time, but pay-per-views aren't that. Okay, I'm gonna give you one for this time. Francis Ngannou and AJ, both of them have already lost. Why did they do numbers? Why did they do numbers?
Exactly
why did they do numbers?
Exactly.
Why did they do numbers?
Because Francis is a UFC guy.
Why did they do numbers?
And was perceived to.
But your argument was losses.
You know this.
Okay. Exactly. Why does AJ still sell? Hold up. Why does AJ still sell over in the UK? He's lost. AJ's lost in the UK. Why does he still lose? Why does he still sell?
Greg.
He ain't got no argument. Just take the L, man.
Francis is not going to ever make that much, get those eyes again.
Why does AJ still sell?
He was a UFC guy. You got to understand.
Why does AJ still sell?
There's certain things that go into it, Greg, with you. You know what I mean? But
why does AJ still sell?
You said what?
AJ sells, and he done taken a bunch of L's. He's still selling. Why?
Oh, my God. AJ's really not selling. AJ sold against Ruiz. AJ sold against
AJ sells over in the UK. AJ sells in the UK. He absolutely does.
He was not selling like what was his numbers against Ruiz? It wasn't no 700, no 600, no 5, nothing like that.
I'm gonna look it up, but I'm quite sure he's still selling over in the UK. It doesn't have to do with just
massive.
It's not
100, 200, 300. You're not selling no big numbers.
It's not just wins and losses.
Selling no big numbers. I'm not hearing that.
It's not just wins and losses, my brother. It's not just wins and losses. It's if you are drawn. Okay, Canelo Alvarez is lost in this era. Why is he still doing numbers? Why is he still doing numbers?
Because Canelo is the face of boxing right now.
Okay, so then wins and losses doesn't matter because if according to you, if you lose, you fall off.
So Ryan telling everybody that he had this amazing speed and his speed was going to be able to stop Tank, and he had an undefeated record, didn't play a part.
No. You just said so. Ryan's social media status did not change because of that loss. It did not change. It did not change. So Ryan Garcia, the argument is somebody. So hold on. Somebody's in the comment section talking about Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing and using the face of boxing. But what you're using is a loss changing the profile. And you specifically talked about Ryan Garcia. Well, Ryan Garcia's profile did not change because of a loss, because he still has the same social media following and love that he always had. He just didn't sell that fight. It was Tank. You can say what you want, but it was Tank that sold it. Now, back to Terrence Crawford. He should do 1.5.
Hey, yo, a loss don't matter?
I'm not saying a loss doesn't have any impact whatsoever, but what I am saying is that for the specific fighter, the specific fighter,
and let's see how his numbers pop up.
I bet you he does 300. I bet you does 300.
And let's see how big his next pay-per-view is going to be.
I bet you he does 300.
Canelo lose.
I bet he does 300,000 pay-per-view buys.
So who you lose to, and when you lose, and how you lose does play a part.
No, but
you're not listening. Ryan was telling people that he's undefeated. When you tell somebody that you're undefeated, you got 100. Say you got a room full of 100 people, and you tell everybody I'm undefeated and all this stuff, and you go in there and lose. You got 50 people about to stop following you, about to stop believing in what you're doing. You just lost. Period.
You lose. You making excuses for why your boy ain't gonna fucking sell. That's what you trying to do, and I ain't gonna let you get away with it. I ain't gonna let you. I ain't gonna let you get away with it. I ain't gonna let you get away with it. I ain't gonna let you get away with it. Terrence Crawford is undefeated. Hold on, let me finish. Terrence Crawford is undefeated. He hasn't lost. So I don't give a damn what you talking about. The first fight that they did was the 1.2 where both fighters were undefeated. Madrimov and Terrence Crawford are undefeated. Therefore, if Terrence Crawford is a draw with the greatest card in North American history, then he should do 1.5. What Ryan Garcia did is irrelevant. It's gaslighting. You're trying to change the subject. Terrence Crawford's undefeated. No. Terrence Crawford is undefeated. Madrimov is undefeated. Right? Okay, so 1.5. 1.5.
What did I tell you in text? Terrence Crawford's going to have 3 big-ass fights.
1.5.
This one's going to sell.
1.5.
That next one that you're talking about for Mr. Nello is going to sell.
1.5.
I love how you guys keep trying to throw that man Benavidez in it like you guys didn't hear that man's last press conference when the man asked him about Canelo and Benavidez said, told you weeks ago. I told you this months ago. If Canelo keeps getting
My Bluetooth out. I can't hear nothing.
Go for him. So what's next for Mr. Canelo?
Give me a second,
fight,
man.
Which is what y'all don't want. Tell the truth, Greg. Tell the truth, Jason. Y'all don't want that man Bud to get that fight.
My Bluetooth
and ride it to the
out.
sunset.
I can't hear a damn thing.
You don't hear nothing.
That's not true.
You got it, Jay.
That's not true. It's not that.
Give me a second. And I defeated you too. Before you go on, Jay, I defeated you, band up. What you saying don't make no sense.
What I'm saying don't make no sense. What part don't make no sense? What part do you need Band Up to break down for you? What part you lost at? Because Band Up can help you on this route that you on.
I can hear you. What'd you say, Band Up?
What'd you say, great, Jason?
Say it. What'd you say now?
No, I was just telling him how you guys keep trying to push this Benavidez stuff when you guys know good well what Benavidez said in his last press conference that he just had, that he's no longer worried about Canelo and that he's making his way. That was it, 178 or 170 or whatever the case may be, 175, and he's not worried about Canelo. And I told you guys this months ago that if Canelo Alvarez keeps waiting Benavidez out, he's not going to sit here and wait. Canelo's going to have to take a big fight, and who is that big fight? Bud Crawford.
Benavidez said he would fight Canelo at 168. He said he's not fighting no one else at 168 but Canelo. That's who he said he's fighting.
Did you hear what did he say in his last press conference a couple days ago? He said he's not worried about Canelo anymore. Obviously, that fight's not going to happen. He's making his own way. So what you guys are trying to do is trying to put that man still in the limelight when it ain't really going to happen. It's not about Benavidez wants Canelo. Yes, he does. But Canelo's not going for Benavidez. We already seen this. It's been how many years in the process?
Answer this, Bando. Which is the better fight? Which is the bigger fight? Canelo versus Benavidez or Canelo versus Bud?
You know I'm going to tell you Bud Crawford. You know I'm gonna tell you that.
You're a fan.
You know I'm gonna tell you that. It's a bigger Mexican fight. I'm not gonna lie. If you had that fight in Mexico, that fight would probably be huge. Both of them in Mexico, yeah, that's huge. But I don't think that man's gonna do it. You want to sit here and say Bud's not gonna? If Bud and Nello went and fought. Bud and Nello fought, and Benavidez and Nello fought. I don't think that would be a big, huge difference in pay-per-view sales than what you guys do. I really don't.
You out your damn mind. You say it would be a big difference. That fight, Benavidez versus Canelo would go crazy. That shit would sell,
but I don't think it's gonna sell all this massive amount that you guys think he's gonna sell over fighting Crawford. I think Crawford's a big fight just as well as Benavidez.
It's not the same, Band Up. It's not the same. And let me give you perspective. So let's say this. Let's say roles reverse and Spence beat Bud the way Bud beat Spence. I'll be saying the same thing because I never wanted Spence to fight Canelo anyway. So
yeah, I know you guys say you guys didn't want that. A couple of your platforms did, and I'm pretty sure. I'm not for sure. I probably got to do some research. I'm pretty sure your boy Bernard was on that train too. Talk about Errol and what's it called? Canelo. But when Bud want to get up there, don't nobody want Bud Crawford in there. But it's all right. My boy Bud's still gonna shine. You know what I mean? We know Angry Man Greg is still angry at Band Up in the chat. You know what I mean? And me and Greg got to the nitty gritty of what is the reason he don't want that man to fight Boots. It's because Greg even said it himself, 10 times out of 10, if Errol was to refight Bud, he would lose. And you guys know who is similar to that man. Jerron Boots is. That's why you guys don't want that man to go. I figured it out with Greg. I want Greg to admit it to the fans, though. Greg don't want to admit it to the fans.
Admit what? What did you say about Boots?
That he doesn't want Errol in the ring with Boots.
No, man. The reason we don't want Errol in the ring with Boots because Errol lost.
You said what? Is it because Errol lost? You said it's because Errol lost? So if Boots and Errol are at 154 at the same time and they somehow collide, you don't want that fight?
At 154 is a different story, but Boots ain't campaigning at 154. He said he's
as of right now. But you never know how these things play out. You know what I mean? Like Bud's older than both of them guys. I think Bud will be the sport for both of them guys. So it might be a clash course, but I want to hear Greg admit that, because he was singing a different tune last week when I was on his head about it. He was all for it, but nah, I got to the nitty gritty with.
Yo,
Greg,
man, I'm still on.
Oh, there you go. Did you catch that, Greg?
No, I did, man. I already defeated you.
Hey, I got him.
All right, Greg. We know. It's some sauce that you got. You know what I mean? That you got to spill out, Greg. It's okay. I'm gonna let my man Jerry, my lender for life, come up on here and cook. Salute my guy Jerry. Salute AM Podcast. Salute Jason. Salute Greg. Man, band up.
Salute band
in
up.
the chat with you guys. Sitting in the super chat. And since you're getting here, you should go back and watch the replay, because I got something for you. You can hit me up later, Greg.
All right, later, bro.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, man. I'm gonna put this thing on pause real quick. I don't know what y'all said, but Jay, my point is, Band Up started gaslighting because he started going over there talking about who's been what and defeated this, da da da. Terrence Crawford is undefeated. Madrimov is undefeated. Both Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia were undefeated, so they did 1.2, and they should be able to do 1.5 easily with the best card in North American history, period. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out a way to say, okay, if he doesn't sell, he still deserves a fight. That's the issue that I have, because my whole thing has been this: you got to make it worth it for Canelo Alvarez. It's as simple as that. You got to make it worth it. And fighting a little guy moving up from 147 pounds, if he beats him, then what does everybody say? He was little. He moved up. So there's not going to be any real benefit in it for Canelo Alvarez. So why is he going to do it? A lot of money. That's the only reason. And so Crawford's going to have to generate money. That's just all it is to it. Like, that's a simple concept, dog. And if Terrence Crawford can sell, then he will get the fight. If he doesn't sell, like if this fight with all of these cars on there does like 500,000 buys, that's a fail. That's a fail. And we all know it. They know it's a fail because they got the greatest undercard in North American history, according to Terrence Crawford fans. They know it's a fail. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out a way to argue where it won't be a fail if it does like 500,000. If it does 900,000 pay-per-view buys, I would consider that a success. And I would still think it should have done 1.5. And I would still say, yeah, you know, Crawford is probably not the draw people saying he is, or actually not probably. He's not, because with that car, he should have did way better numbers. But 900,000, hey, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Hey, let's advocate for the fight. But man, if that fight card does like 500,000 buys or 600, that's a fail, dog. And they know that. It ain't hard to understand. It's a fail. Saline, Greg, it's not your money. Turkey is putting up the money. He doesn't care about no damn. I mean, hey man, hold up, dog. I'm so damn tired of these guys. So Saladin Ilyas, do you actually know what Turkey Al-Sheikh actually does? Do you know what he actually does? Or are you just talking? Because my thing is, you probably don't know what he actually does. You're just talking. Turkey Al-Sheikh, you can call him like a minister of entertainment for Saudi Arabia. He's not putting up the money. He's not putting up the money, dog. Saudi Arabia government is putting up the money. Most people keep talking about, man, Turkey Al-Sheikh, he rich and he don't care about. Yeah, I don't know Turkey Al-Sheikh net worth. The Saudi Arabian government is putting up the money. Saudi Arabia is trying to get into entertainment. They're trying to expand into entertainment. They are responsible for Live, that golf, the golf league. And so they are spending, don't get me wrong, they are spending to expand into different areas of entertainment for sure. Totally agree with you guys on that. But Turkey Al-Sheikh has said out of his own mouth that they're being strategic and they believe that it can make money. Make money, which means what they invest in, they get back more than what they put in. So he's not in it for whatever reason. Y'all think that they're just spending money just for the fuck of it. That's not what they're doing, dog. So if that's what your belief is, you're sadly mistaken. Some of these guys think that these guys are willing to come in and just operate at a loss. He don't care. He just spending money. That's not how the real world works, dog. If that's the case, Saudi Arabia will be selling their oil for much cheaper. But apparently they want to be rich, so they need to make a profit. Like, damn, dog, some of these comments make no damn sense at all. Okay, man, I'm turning the phone lines back on, man. These dudes done pissed me off, man. Band Up done got my damn blood pressure up, and you know I love you, Band Up, but you done had my blood pressure up all week long. Yeah, I was yelling at you through the text messages. You interpreted it correctly. I don't give a damn if you tell the people. They know I'm an asshole to begin with.
Facts.
100% facts. And I own it proudly. I'll put a badge on me right now, say asshole. That's who I am.
He said your country accent kicked in.
I was just reading that from Cheval Hall. Hey, yo, when Greg said he don't care that country accent. I love it. I believe this is my dog.
Hey, what's on? This boy Tunnel Vision.
What's going on, Tunnel?
What's happening, Tunnel?
Yeah, I don't know what people like when it comes to this this turkey thing. I'm not sure why people like still have this weird thing in their head where they think he's just gonna, he has like this limitless pit of money that he can just spend on anything.
It's like, ridiculous.
That's not what the case is. I think the guy was, what was he? I think he was like a Instagrammer or a YouTuber or something like that. That's what he used to do. Like he had like a huge, I don't know if it was Instagram or YouTube. Like he had like a crazy amount of followers and stuff like that. So they chose him to be, to head this whatever thing that they're doing as far as with the boxing and everything like that. But they're this like I've always been saying, like, while all this is going on, enjoy it while it lasts. Because they're not going to just sit there taking a loss for like an unlimited amount of time.
Facts.
It's going to become a position where they're going to start to have to mean, just like the zone. The zone is spending all this money, but then after a while, they had to start budgeting everything because they needed to get themselves to a position where they can at least, get to the point where they can make a profit. That's why if you notice with their big fights, all the big fights are the ones that are funded by Turkey. All the other fights, they don't have no major big fights they're doing by themselves. They basically cut all the fat, all the top guys that make like a ridiculous amount of money. They got rid of pretty much all of them. Even with this fight, they had Munguia. Why didn't the Zone do that Munguia fight? PBC, Amazon Prime had to pay for that and had that all that because they weren't going to put up the money for that. So it's the same thing with these guys. If they're not making a profit, he's gonna get cut off, or they're gonna adjust their business model. That's why now you see them. They're trying to have fights in the United States now, trying to have it in the UK. What happened to they don't care about taking losses and all this other stuff and just continue having it in Saudi Arabia? If that was the case, that's what they would do. They'll just keep having it there. But they're not doing that. So they're gonna have to make a profit eventually. So they're gonna do this for a little bit, but if they get to the point where they're still not making a profit after a certain amount of time, that's gonna be it. And also remember, he is on a budget, and that budget can get cut off at any time. At absolutely any time.
It's Saudi Arabian money. It's government money. Like, these guys really don't actually understand how this all works. They believe that Turki Al-Sheikh, shout out to John Mack. John Mack believes Turki Al-Sheikh owns all the businesses around all the events that occur in Saudi Arabia, and that he is actually the one that's funding the doggone fights. And it's actually false. Like, people don't do their research, dog.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He can't. He doesn't have the money to be able to finance a single fight that has been done on his own. At all. He couldn't do it. He doesn't have the finances to be able to fund, what's his name? When Fandora fought against Zhu, he doesn't have the finances to be able to have funded that fight if he had to do it personally. He does not have money like that. He's straight. But, like, the amount of money he has, like, a bad gambling habit, a weekend at the casino, you could lose it. You know what I mean? You could lose it. So, no, he doesn't have money like that. And that's why people need to stop calling him like the excellency and everything like that. You hear he never calls himself that because he would actually get in trouble if he did that because he's nowhere near that. So, no, they need to stop that. And as far as with the Terrence Crawford, Terrence Crawford got to do numbers. Like, you can't have a card like that and not do numbers. You got Issa Cruz fan base that's going to be tuning in. You got Tim Tszyu. You got Ortiz. Like, you got a lot of people that do numbers on their own. You know, the people that bring in, like, gates and everything on their own, and they're putting them all, a bunch of them all in the same card. He has to do numbers. Like, if you can't do big numbers with this, you can't call this. You cannot call yourself a draw.
Facts.
Because you look at, you cannot. I'm sorry. And I understand you talking about with the Ryan thing, where, you know, Ryan had lost and this and that, whatever. Well, okay. Terrence Crawford didn't lose. He won that big fight. So if he did those big numbers, he should be able to do big numbers on this fight. Martin and Tank Davis. Tank Davis, the ticket prices they had for this fight were significantly higher than his normal ticket prices. That fight's almost sold out. So no, like, you should be able to do numbers. You cannot have a card like that, come off a win like that, and not be able to do numbers. And you're moving up in weight to face another undefeated fighter. Nah, you have to do numbers. There's no excuses for it at all.
Exactly. That's 100%. And the thing about it is they're trying to position it in a way where they're saying, oh, Greg, you're trying to lock him into a specific number. And all I'm doing is saying, okay, I'm just baselining to get something that we already know occurred, 1.2 million buys. We know that Ryan and Tank were able to do 1.2 million buys. Is Terrence Crawford at their level? Absolutely not. But if you're going to give him credit for 700,000 buys, well, guess what? That's what 500,000 pay-per-view buys in excess of that. Well, if you're giving me the greatest North American card in history, then I think that should more than supplement that 500,000 pay-per-view buy differential between what you say Terrence Crawford got and what the next biggest fight was that we saw over the last 2 years. So it should happen. He should be able to get to 1.2, if not 1.5.
I wouldn't even go that high. I'll be straight up. If he could do, I'd be impressed. If he could do 500,000, I'd be impressed if he could do 5. Because I don't think it's even going to do 500,000. I don't have a lot of faith in this. Like, I think they're probably going to do like 300,000 pay-per-views, something like that. But I actually don't even think it's going to do crazy numbers. So if he did like 500, 600,000, I actually would be impressed if he did something like that. Because I don't think it's going to do anything crazy. But you gotta do you gotta do numbers, man. Like, I don't know, man. You can't have a better setup than that. I mean, and PBC was willing to even have all these fighters go onto your card to do to do these numbers. They were willing to actually thinking about it and seeing the fights that are on that card. Yeah, you should be doing numbers, because if you had like just Tim Tszyu versus Ortiz and you put them on pay-per-view, that would have did a couple of 100,000 pay-per-views. If you just put those two, just that fight alone would have done numbers. But so then when you add everybody else, especially if you have like a Wilder on there, a guy who does, even after he lost, was still did like a 1.7 million, 1.7 million gate, did like 70,000 pay-per-views. Now you have him on top of that also, and then you have all these other guys on there. Like, you have to do something. And with all those Mexicans that are also going to be on that fight, on that card as well. Like, so you should be able to do a really good gate, and you should be able to do pay-per-views. Like, everything is touched, from the Mexicans to the blacks to the Latinos. Like, everything is pretty much touched. And, to the American blacks, like, everything is there. Even the Kazakhstanians or whatever the hell that dude is, Ukrainians. Like, you have everything there. Every fan base is basically touched on that card. And PBC was willing to give you all these fighters that would, like, oh, you paying us right for them? Cool, let them go. Let's put all of them on there. So if they're willing to do it, and the stage is set for you. Like, if you can't make this work, then I don't know what to tell you, man. And he has to do good, because people can say what they want. Errol Spence is going to do a gate. He fights Pandora. I'm guessing they're probably going to fight in September. They're going to do a gate, and they're going to do pay-per-view numbers. They're going to do numbers. So, you're going to have to do numbers. And I disagree with you. I don't think he's not going to get stripped. I don't think it's going to get stripped, just due to the fact that Terrence Crawford already has a fight coming up, and he's getting the interim belt. He's getting the WBO interim belt. Spence not and he already has a fight, so Fundora has a right to have a fight too, especially if it's only a month after or two after Crawford, and then after that, maybe the winner might have to fight then Crawford or something like that. But I don't see him getting stripped. I think if Errol Spence is able to go in there and win, I think he's going to be walking out of there with 2 belts. In a fight that's going to be, I don't think he should be taken right now, but if he's able to win, I think he'll be coming out of there with 2 belts.
Okay, we'll see. I'm skeptical on that, but we'll see.
Yeah, one more thing and I'm out. And I wanted to touch on that. On what's his name on Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah,
and the hypocrisy. I'm hearing too much hypocrisy and double standards when it comes to that kid. This guy, he's a top 10 pound for pound fighter. People see him as one of the best fighters in the world. Yet, it's like it doesn't matter who he fights. People have excuses for him fighting the people that he's fighting, and there's no backlash. Like, you're really coming off your next fight. You're fighting somebody that, lost to Martin, and that's the guy that you're fighting, and you're supposed to be the top 10 pound for pound fighter. Like, I think that's crazy. And a lot of people are saying that, oh, well, his last fight was Top Rank. Well, Terence Crawford's last fight was Top Rank was against Sean Porter. So, like, imagine if Tank was the one fighting that dude. Or imagine if it was Tank Davis fighting that Japanese dude, or Shino, whatever he's fought. Or imagine if it was Tank fighting, I forget the Spanish guy that was coming off a loss that Shakur Stevenson fought. Like, imagine if Tank was fighting those guys. There'd be all kinds of backlash towards it. There'd be backlash for pretty much most of Shakur's resume. If give Tank that resume, Tank would be considered someone that has a trash resume. That's what they'll be saying about Tank's resume. But for whatever reason, the same energy isn't put towards Shakur. And I gotta at some point we gotta start giving him the same kind of, the same type of energy. And Tank needs to fight a top prime this. Okay, who is this top prime people that supposedly that Shakur Stevenson's fighting? It's like the energy's not the same. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing I have is, like, I've seen certain channel. I'm not gonna say their name, but for years trashing Tank, saying Tank needs to fight Shakur, Tank needs to fight this guy. He's the A side. He needs to make the fight happen. Now that Shakur's in the position where the ball's going to be in his hand, where he could put himself into a position where, forget about Top Rank, he can get out of Top Rank and go and negotiate the fight. All of a sudden now it's become, well, Shakur needs to think about his career, and he might get that one fight, but then what's going to happen? Is he going to be sitting around not getting fights? All of a sudden they care about Shakur's career and what's in the best interest of his career, when they didn't give a damn about Tank Davis and what was in the best interest of his career. Now all of a sudden I'm hearing people, it's cool if Shakur doesn't go after Tank now and he tries to get a Lomachenko fight, or he tries to go get these other belts and stays with Top Rank. All of a sudden now that's all cool, and people now don't have this same energy as far as with what's it called that they had for Tank, where Shakur is now actually in the position where he can make this fight happen, and it looks like what he's actually going to choose to do is re-sign with Top Rank instead of going and making that fight happen.
Yep, I feel what you're saying. I don't know if that's what he's going to do, but it looks like that's a possibility for sure.
Yeah, but that's it though. Yeah, but y'all have a good night, and y'all need to get off with that turkey thing. No, and and when and also, and I'm out. One last thing. Everybody was talking about comparing Tank Davis's gait, and Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia's gate and pay-per-views from their last fight, and this fight. I'm not hearing any talk since we've seen that this gate doing, the numbers that it's doing, and as many seats have been sold. I'm not hearing anybody talking about gates anymore. And I'm not hearing people talk about pay-per-views anymore. And all these certain people that were talking about that, let him cook, keep the same energy. Get on here and talk about that gate and the numbers that they're doing. Okay, and compared to the way what Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia were doing, because I heard people jumping up talking about how all the controversy was all hot, and they were going to, all the controversy was good for them, and they're going to do all these numbers, and they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and we've seen, day to the fight, the day before the fight, thousands of tickets just sitting there available to be sold, where you could buy over 200 available buys if you wanted to buy 8 seats in a row. But I didn't hear anything about that, and all of a sudden now this fight's doing the numbers that it's doing. Keep the same energy. I'm out.
Later. That was tunnel vision, man. Dropping that science. So real quick, I got so number one, we got 95 likes, 117 people in the building. If you ever had the opportunity, please hit the like button so other people can find this content, or the dislike button if you don't like it. But make sure that you interact with the content. And also, if you're new to this channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. We're always dropping boxing related content. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button. And you won't regret it, because here you have a voice. You get to say whatever it is that you want to say, whether you agree with us or you don't agree with us. And consider becoming a member, $2.99 a month if you are already a subscriber. It helps us to continue to bring this content to you. I just dropped the Discord in the chat. It is pinned to the top. I would encourage you to become, I just saw somebody that joined. But I would encourage you guys to join the Discord. We're always talking boxing in there. It's a great environment. People that they go back and forth, but it's nothing disrespectful or anything like that. And I would definitely encourage people who support Errol Spence and Gervonta Davis to please join the chat. They double team me every day. They jump me. All of them in there, they jumping me. That's what Lil J talking about, man. And he get cooked every day. I don't get cooked. They jump me. They try to throw every single angle that every one of them can think of. And in reality, I defeat them all. But there's just not enough of the pro Gervonta Davis, Errol Spence people in there. It's a lot of Terrence Crawford folks in there, man. So if you're an Errol Spence fan or you're a Gervonta Davis fan, jump on in there, man. Help me fight these guys off, because they try to double team me every day. All right, Jay, we had an hour and 56 minutes. And, it's Mother's Day. And very soon I gotta go up there and I gotta tend to these children so that my wife can continue to enjoy her Mother's Day. She had the grace to allow me to come down here and do what I do. So I appreciate her for that. I know some of you guys wanted to hear Mr. Let Him Cook. I tried to add him to one of the calls, but for whatever reason, he couldn't hear us for whatever reason. So Mr. Let Him Cook will probably have to come on sometime, I guess, next week, I guess. Guess it's next week,
Maybe have those damn numbers too.
Huh? Yeah, maybe he'll have the numbers, the 1.5 million buys. He'll jump all over that though. He'll duck that. That's what he's good at. He ducks when you actually ask him the tough questions. But Mr. Let Him Cook goes for about 10, 15 minutes, which I don't have right now. I don't know. If Mr. Let Him Cook can get it in 3 minutes, then I'm cool. I know I'm not ducking Jerry. We let Jerry come on every single week. I am more than willing to let Jerry come on all the time. I don't have 10 minutes for Jerry today. Because it's already, I'm already at the 2-hour mark, and I need to finish some stuff up before we go to dinner.
Just to spin the numbers gate. Numbers.
If Jerry can call in and get his point off in 3 minutes or so, I'm cool. But he gonna want to go for 10. They ain't got 10.
Exactly.
So I don't know if Jerry in the chat. Jerry, if you're in the chat and you can get your point off in 3, then great. I'm cool. We'll open the phone lines back up. If Mr. Jerry can't get off in 3, if he needs 10 to 15, I ain't got it right now. I gotta go tend to my lovely wife and my kids. So I don't know if Jerry's actually there. Jerry, are you in the chat?
I don't see him.
Mr. Jerry, are you in the chat? A lot of times he doesn't post, but he's there. He just doesn't post. Fire Stick Bud. That's what they call him. Fire Stick Bud. Guys, while we wait for Jerry to quickly see if he responds, consider joining, becoming a member, consider contributing to the channel. Those are the things that allow us to continue to do what it is that we do on here and bring you this platform. So think about giving to the channel. You wasting time. All right. So Jerry, is it 3 minutes, Jerry? Can you get off in 3 minutes? Yes or no? Open it up. Okay. 3 minutes. I'm going to give Jerry his 3 minutes. Jerry, the phone line is open. Come on, Mr. Let Him Cook. I cooked Jerry so bad in the Discord, man. Ooh, I cooked him last week. Ooh, cooked him good. I cooked them for too long, Jerry. Jay, I couldn't even eat them. I charred them. Jerry, the lines are open, man. And it is my lender for life. Jerry, what's going on with your family?
Let him cook. Let him cook. First and foremost, happy Sunday, my friends.
Happy Sunday.
And also a very happy Mother's Day to all the queens that gave their energy up to raise you damn degenerates. Most of you have let your moms down. Out here, grown-ass men over 40 on YouTube lying. Not you, of course, Greg, but you know, I got to apologize to a couple of your faithfuls here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to get out of my element. I am an aspiring life coach. So 2 Cents Boxing, I am convinced that Wanda Sykes is trolling YouTube. That has to be Wanda Sykes. Close your eyes and listen to her speak. Wanda, I'm a big fan, and I'm going to give you a pass and say, you go, girl. You do your thing. Your other PBC operative, I'm a little confused because now he's a Turkey a la Sheik operative. I mean, you need to start your own goddamn YouTube gossip channel because apparently now, Turkey a la Sheik's budget. I mean, you can't make this up. Remember, all money ain't good money? What happened to that? And my boy Greg, I will tell you this. You unintentionally boxed yourself in when you were in haste to give everybody your true alliances to these other YouTube channels. Unfortunately, you are in alliance with one of the 2 YouTube channels that Terrence Crawford called out by name. That may be a little bit of a problem. When your channel was growing expeditiously daily, and then all of a sudden, July 29th, 2023, it comes to a halt. It may be because of your content. It may be that you're a kind of a bottom dweller. But let's move on, because I got...
Hold on. No. I want you to... Who are you talking about right now when you said they channel came to a screeching halt?
I am not going to call any YouTube channel out by name, but I can tell you this. The proof is in the pudding.
Not AM Sports. You're not talking about AM Sports.
More entertaining. I think I find it more entertaining when you deny you're a Crawford hater, or should it just be like, all right, goddammit, I am anti-Crawford. Take it for what it is, but guess what? The phone lines are open. Come on, I want all the smoke. So I'm not sure which Greg I really want. But Greg, let me clear up just a few things moving forward. Tank versus Lomachenko is actually a pretty good fight. Because, I don't know, a 40-year-old Lomachenko is his best opponent.
He's 35.
But here's the difference, Greg. We have receipts. And Lomachenko was calling out Tank since 2016. And you know what Tank Davis and Mayweather were saying at the time? That he wasn't ready. In 2019, Tank Davis said that, you know what? Lomachenko is over the hill. We are going in 2 different trajectories. So now, fast forward 5 damn years later. Now it's a good fight, Tank. I get it. I'm sure next you'll be calling out Devin Haney. Yeah, it's a good fight now. Let's get it on, brother. I'm a little confused, Greg, because the PBC operatives are saying that Shakur needs to go over to the PBC to make that tank fight. Is that what needs to happen? Because I'm a little confused how that whole equation works. Number one. Number two, PBC letting their fighters fight on that August 3rd card is a bailout because you don't have a budget. You do not have a budget.
And I would venture to tell that PBC operative that if you're really about it, let's me and you get on the grand stage right here on the Angry Man Sports Media Podcast, YouTube channel, whatever platform you want. And we'll call that Live at the Barbecue. So instead of you sending out subliminals, we can both say it face to face. I mean, we're both over 40, right? That's what I'm thinking. But Greg, I didn't hear your outrage about your boy, Big Fish Spence, getting catapulted to number 1 on the WBC out of a loss.
My youngest baby.
But guess what? Why is that surprising if Fundora fought for 2 titles off a loss? The PBC. My goodness, my friends. If you really think the PBC is good for boxing, you're going to have a tough street to walk down. It's going to be dark and lonely in the next 12 months. Because for all of you that say Crawford doesn't have a resume, you're seeing it unfold right before your eyes. Nobody wants to fight the man. Where's Fundora running to? Why are you running to fight Crawford? I mean, to fight Spence. Why don't you fight the almighty Crawford? Because Crawford, you know, he's always looking for the easy way out. But yet nobody's trying to fight him. And for your boy Boots, if he keeps winning, guess what? That ticket has already been punched. So all you have to do is keep winning, young man. And I'll leave you with this, my friends. Crawford is on his path to undisputed at 154. If the PBC doesn't get in the way, because, you know, we don't have to worry about a budget anymore, Greg, because the Turkey al-Sheikh is providing that money. So how much you sell and put butts in the seats, that narrative is soon going to go by the wayside of the dinosaur. But I understand August 3rd should give good numbers. I agree with you. The other thing I will say is there isn't a bigger fight than Canelo versus Crawford. And I'll tell you why. Because Canelo has already boxed himself in, whereas Benavidez only offers 20 more pounds the night of the fight. And he already knows that the customers are calling for that fight. He doesn't give a goddamn what the people want. So don't call here and tell me that Crawford doesn't offer him anything, because Canelo doesn't care what the people want. At this point, once Crawford is undisputed at 154, he will go up to 168 to become undisputed in his 4th weight class. And I'll leave y'all with that. This is Jerry Soriano, your lender for life. Let him cook!
No numbers.
Hey, man.
No numbers.
Hey.
No
Yeah,
numbers.
he's not gonna talk about the numbers. Hey man, Jerry, my boy, man. Some people love Jerry. Some people can't stand Jerry. Jerry's actually my boy, man. I appreciate Jerry calling in, and he is the prime example of what this channel represents, which is someone that comes on and gives an opinion that we don't agree with at all. Like, I don't agree with Jerry's opinion at all. He mentioned Gervonta Davis and how Lomachenko called Gervonta Davis out back in 2016. And he faults Gervonta Davis and the team for saying not to put him in the ring. So Tank is how old right now? 29?
Yep.
So 2016 was 8 years ago?
Yep.
So that would have made him 21. So you think that they put that would have made Lomachenko 27. No, that would have made Lomachenko 26. Sorry. So no, 27. He's 35 right now, right?
He's 36 right now.
He's 36. Okay, that would have made him 28. So 28 years old versus 21-year-old. Let me ask you, do you think they put Shakur Stevenson at 21 in the ring with Lomachenko?
Nope.
Do you think they put Devin in the ring at 21 with Lomachenko at that age?
Nope. So
why is it so important that Gervonta Davis's team did not put him in the ring at 21 years old against a 28-year-old fighter that had a outstanding amateur background versus a guy that is just coming up the ranks? Why would they do that? Does that make any sense? Like for anybody that's like not biased, does that make any sense? Like what's the Abdullah Mason right now, young up and coming fighter? Would you put him in the ring currently with Shakur or Tank or Devin? No, you're gonna keep building him up. He's like 20 something. He's in his early 20s. You don't do that. That's gross. I can't even say the word right now, man. This oil got me. That's gross mismanagement of a fighter. Dereliction of duty. There we go. That's gross mismanagement. You're not going to do that, right? So that argument makes absolutely no sense. Please stop talking to me about Gervonta Davis turning down Lomachenko. That's a poor argument. I'm glad that he agreed that it should do numbers because it should. I'm talking about the Terrence Crawford fight. It should do numbers. And before I forget, let me go ahead and read off Tunnel Vision. I don't do subliminals. That's your bucket. And PBC has no budget but pay for Canelo Munguia and have a Tank versus Martin fight up next. Shake my head. When are they falling? I want all the smoke. And Jerry doesn't understand exactly what Turki Al-Sheikh represents. He is representing the Saudi Arabia government. Dog. This whole notion that budgets go away, that's not true. We've seen big entities come into boxing, pour a shit ton of money in it, and then once they come to the realization that they don't have the secret sauce, then all of a sudden they either get out of the sport or they pull back completely. We've seen that happen. So this whole notion that Turki Al-Sheikh is somehow the savior of boxing and that he has unlimited funds and that there is no budget, or there is no limit to his resources, that's just simply not true. They're trying to make a dollar as well. That's what any businessman is doing. If that is the case, then why is Saudi Arabia selling their oil for a surplus above what it costs to actually get it out of the ground? Because they're about making money. And that's the only way that they're in the position that they're in currently to fund these fights, because they're about making money. So if you think that they're in it not to make money, you're sadly mistaken. It is to expand their presence in the world for sure, and that's a big deal for them. So they may be willing to take less of a profit, but certainly they're in it to make a profit. So don't let anyone fool you to believe otherwise. There was one other point that I wanted to make, but I've lost my train of thought. But anyway, at the end of the day, Turki Al-Sheikh, shout out to him. I love what he's doing currently for the sport, but we got to see if it's sustainable. And for whatever reason, people think that it's sustainable because, it's Turki Al-Sheikh and it's Saudi Arabia and they rich. They got unlimited money. The money never run out. No, they want to make a profit too, dog. Everybody is in it to make a profit. All right, Jay. PD Russell. I mean, they just literally said that the whole budget thing, like Jerry literally just said the whole budget thing is a thing of the past. Oh, he said that Terrence Crawford. Oh, he said Canelo. Since when does Canelo care about what the people want? Nobody said Canelo cares about what the people want. Canelo cares about money. And what my argument has been from the jump is that Terrence Crawford doesn't bring enough money to the table. David Benavidez, because of the pin-up desire to see the fight, may bring enough money. I'm saying I don't believe Terrence Crawford does, because that's what Canelo cares about. Money. I don't know how many times we got to make statements, Jay, and people take our comments out of context and come on here and argue narratives that we never freaking said, because we never said anything about Canelo cares what the people want. No, we said that Terrence Crawford doesn't bring enough financially to the table to entice Canelo Alvarez to fight him, considering he won't get any credit for beating him. And it's the same paycheck, essentially, that he would have made otherwise. So why would he fight Terrence Crawford? That's the point. And that's the reason why I think August 3rd is so incredibly important for Terrence Crawford. That's my only point. So, Jay, anything else you want to share with the people before we wrap this call up?
No, I mean, well, we'll say this. Jerry said that Loma was calling out Tank, but Loma also said that in 2018 that it wasn't an interesting fight for him to fight Tank at that point in time. So Loma had said things where he didn't want to fight Tank as well. So miss me with that shit, Jerry. Also, where are the damn numbers, dude? I want the numbers.
The 1.5 million you said they were going to sell, which they didn't. I can tell you for a fact they didn't. Tunnel Vision, $5. If they have no budget, and I've made this comment before as well, they should have no issue giving Canelo $200 million to fight Benavidez and the money for Crawford to face Boots next. Exactly, but they're saying that they're not going to pay him $200 million to face David Benavidez. They're not going to pay him $200 million to fight anybody because they got a budget. He does not have unlimited resources. I don't know what make-believe world you guys live in where there's any entity that has unlimited resources. There's no such thing. You may have an entity that has a lot of resources, but not unlimited. And to go in there and have a fight where you could lose $2, $5, $10 million, $15, $20 million overpaying fighters. Ain't nobody gonna do that, man. Unless they believe that somehow they can use it to expand, but they'll quickly find out that that's not gonna work. So they got oil money. Yep, they got oil money, dog. And they got, you know how they got oil money, Celine Lias? You know how they got, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You know how they got oil money? They didn't pull the oil money out of the ground and sell it for the same price that it cost them to pull it out of the ground. They made a profit on the oil money, which means they're in the business of making a profit. You think they doing this shit just for the hell of it? Come on, dog. Do better. All right, Jay. Let's give thanks to everybody that contributed to the channel today. Let's see. MH.
ASVP TV. Band up in tunnel.
Appreciate y'all family for supporting the channel today. I got to get up there and take care of those kiddos. It's called economics. Exactly, in Conquest 2. And if you understand economics, you understand that you got to actually make money. Every business is in it to make money. You don't just do it just for the hell of it. Oh, it's just fun. No, this isn't like a card game collecting cards for them where they just kind of spend money on it. No, this is big time prize fighting, dog. And it is what it is. All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody that joined us today. Sorry that the show was a little bit earlier today. As I mentioned before, we got to get to the lovely wives, or at least I got to get to my lovely wife in terms of taking her to a Mother's Day dinner. Jason got to go be a slave to his wife, but he's used to that. I guess today I'm going to be a slave to mine too.
Nigga.
Say what? Did you just drop an N-bomb? I finally took him there. I tell you. Ooh, I took him there, boy. Ooh, I took him there. Anyway, this is what I do to Jason. I harass him. I piss him off, and that's who I am. That's what I do. Anyway,
live, do it every time.
No, you're a slave. But anyway, appreciate everybody. I'm a slave to my kids for sure. I'm a slave to my kids. You ain't lying about that. A complete slave.
The goalpost.
I ain't a slave to my wife, but I am a slave to my kids.
Larry, get up here.
Say what?
Gregory, get your ass up here. I need dinner. I want a big piece of chicken.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, all right, guys. I gotta get upstairs, man. Jason gotta go and do another cycle of his steroids. We'll catch up with you guys later. Until next time. Oh yeah, let me remind you guys. Yeah, that reminded. I appreciate you saying that, Jason. Next week I am having shoulder surgery, so I might be incapacitated for a little bit. So we might be a little bit dry from Wednesday to Thursday. Because I gotta get my shoulder repaired, and for the next 2 to 3 weeks after the shoulder surgery, I will probably have challenges with.
Ain't that big of a deal, y'all.
Hold on, man. I will probably have challenges with like thumbnails and stuff like that. I'll be on Percocets and all that other stuff. I imagine to deal with the pain. So with that being said, I'm not sure if the quality. Did you say Osterine? Hey, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the quality of the thumbnails and stuff like that are going to be the same level for the next 3 weeks. I hope you guys will be patient, as Jason is not technically sound, and therefore I have to do it. And if I'm not doing
y'all
it,
see who's on cycling on the shit now. It ain't me. It's this guy.
no. I'm having shoulder surgery, man. You just trying to get swole.
Why?
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Why you having the surgery? Why you having the surgery?
Because I tore my rotator cuff and my bicep tendon.
You lifting? How much were you lifting, man?
400 pounds.
Hey, y'all, look at the side effects of some of those PEDs.
Hey.
PEDs happening quite often. Shit just tearing and ripping.
Anyway, like I said,
That's why he's having the Percocets.
I wanna just say, please be patient over the next 2 to 3 weeks as I heal, because I only have one hand, and so whatever we're doing is gonna be somewhat basic to get the content up. So
Yeah,
appreciate
the
it.
shorty, y'all, not his hand.
My whole arm is gonna be incapacitated. Fuck face. You already know. Okay, so let's move on.
And type like this. Go ahead, get on the soda. Do it like that, man.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
PEDs anyway, so you be good.
Anyways, all right, guys. So this wraps up the show. We appreciate you guys. You'll see us sometime during the week. Again, remember, Wednesday through Friday might be a little shaky there a little bit, but we're gonna try our best. So until next time, peace.
Use your strong hand like a scary movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay.